This is Dave from Not So Ancient Chinese Secrets, and I'm here with a follow-up review of the Typo Keyboard for the iPhone 5 and the 5S. And I've spent the last couple of days really getting to know it and really wanting to love the keyboard because I really don't like the built-in iPhone keyboard, the virtual keyboard. But there's just several gotchas in the implementation and the design of it that make it unsuitable for my everyday carry keyboard case. And I'm going to go over some pros and cons, and you can decide for yourself. Now, the first thing that I do really like is the fact that they've kind of made it a minimal added bulk and weight to the iPhone itself, which is really nice. And of course, having a very familiar QWERTY keyboard layout is nice and great for thumb typing here too. Now, they also have a great backlight implementation. You just hit the bottom left backlight key, so you can use this equally well in the dark or the light. Now, they also have the numeric layout similar to a phone right here on the left side. So instead of having all the numbers along the top row, I like their layout where they have the numbers on the left side so that you can actually punch in phone numbers faster and things like that. So really nice. Now, in use, if you take a look at my favorite writing app, Write, there's still a glitch in the app, I think, where I can't see or use all the keyboard or all the screen real estate, even though the keyboard is hidden here. But anyways, let's just start typing here. So this is what it looks and sounds like to use the Typo Keyboard. Now, I do find myself still making typos with it. I lucked out and didn't make a mistake here, but yeah, I still do. But the nice thing is I typically know when I make a typo because I can feel that I pressed two keys, or I can hear the click of two keys as well. Now, you don't get the benefit of the built-in autocorrect, but they do have some simple autocorrects that will fix some hyphenation issues as well. One thing that I said I liked was the numeric layout, but the one implementation that they don't have is a Alt lock. So if you want to press a bunch of numbers in a row, let's say you're dialing a phone number, you've got to press Alt each time before you press the next number, or you have to press and hold Alt and dial those numbers afterwards. So it would have been better if they implemented an Alt lock system where I can press and hold Alt for 3 seconds and it would lock it into the numeric side, so I could enter numbers in spreadsheets, in phone, in the calculator at will. So yeah, the other thing that a lot of people will probably be irked by is the fact that it does cover your home button. Now, I only have the 5, but 5S users especially will lose the ability to take advantage of their fingerprint scanner. And that's just a really big inconvenience for a great feature that a lot of people love. And so when that's hidden, you've got to use their little home button here in the bottom right hand corner. The other thing that they did have to do, like it's just a necessary evil, is add that length to the iPhone. Now that becomes a worry when you're actually carrying it with one hand. Now typically without the keyboard attached, I used to carry it with my pinky underneath as an added support. So if I'm actually, let's say, surfing my news feed, I can reach most of the screen and still have my phone protected with my little pinky here in case I dropped it. Now, with the keyboard attached, the Typo Keyboard lengthens it, so if I'm cradling it from the bottom, I really can't reach the top corner with one thumb on that same hand. Now, if I had bigger hands, I probably could, but if I had bigger hands, I probably couldn't type accurately with big thumbs on this little tiny keyboard. So it's a catch-22. You can't have it both ways. Now, the other thing that's kind of strange is the actual physical dimensions of the way they've opened up the ports in the back mean that the sound of the speakers becomes louder facing away from your face than toward your face. So if you're looking on YouTube and you're watching a video, the people in front of you are going to hear it better than you yourself. Now, an easy fix is just to cup your hand to drive that sound around the back of that keyboard toward your face. But yeah, that could have been a little bit better thought out as well. Now, besides the cramped keyboard, the real big deal killer is a lack of a well-implemented on-off switch, and I'm going to show you why that's a big deal. I mean, yeah, everybody knows Bluetooth keyboards, and when Bluetooth is on in the iPhone, it kills the already horrible battery life to an even worse battery life. But what I wish they could do is have a better off system and on system. Right now, to turn the Typo Keyboard off, you press and hold this tiny little keyboard icon here for 3 seconds, and you'll notice the spacebar turns blue and then red, and that signals, or red and then blue, and that means that the keyboard is off. And you can confirm that by making sure that your Bluetooth is now off. That's cool, but the problem is it doesn't stay off. Let's say you wanted to turn it off and put it in your pocket. So you turn off your phone, you turned off your keyboard, and now you put it in your pocket. Now, I guarantee that you're going to pocket dial somebody that you don't want to, and you're probably going to talk to Siri in your pants, and you're probably going to, change settings in your pants, and if you're like me, you're probably going to delete stuff in your calendar that you didn't want to because this system does not stay off. So what they did was made that a 3-second press to turn it off, but any key pressed will turn it back on. So if you just, pressed against it or walked or sat or something, all of a sudden your phone will be on. So not only is your Bluetooth connected and draining batteries, but your screen is on and now responsive to anything that you either palm or push, or let's say you press with the home button or the keys or whatever. And so I've really found that I've created a lot of problems by keeping this in my pocket with this keyboard attached. Now, you say, Dave, you know what? There's a workaround. You could always turn Bluetooth off. And you're right. I'll just swipe up. Swipe up. Come on, swipe up. Yeah. Well, you know what? That raised lip makes it a little bit tough to swipe up to get control center sometimes. Yeah. Anyways. But if I turn off Bluetooth here, that's cool. Then I won't pocket dial. But remember, to turn on your phone, you used to be able to use your home button, but now you can't use that because it's behind your keyboard. But yeah, you could still hold your on button on the top here to turn it on and off, right? And then swipe to open it. But then to get your keyboard back in action, you've got to swipe up. I could do it, yeah. And then turn on the Bluetooth and turn on your keyboard and then start typing. And if you had to do this every time you wanted to text or jot down a note or reply to an email, that's really tedious throughout the day. And so really, why do I have this keyboard attached when I have this big, huge issue of draining my battery and managing the battery life to make it actually work? So that's the one big deal killer that makes this unusable for me. Now, I do have a wish list that would kind of fix some of the issues and make it a much better keyboard and more usable, I think, for a lot of users like myself. The first thing is definitely make a better thought out on-off system that stayed off. And one thing that they could do is make it a multi-button push issue to turn it back on different parts of the keyboard. Or they could put a physical on-off switch on the side that made sure that you could actually stay off, much like the the mute sound button on the iPhone. Another thing that I really wish for a version 2 would be the fact that they wouldn't have to use Bluetooth at all, but instead they'd actually connect the case would go right into the lightning connector, so I'd have a single lightning connector to access the charging and syncing for the iPhone. And if they did that, that means I wouldn't have to drain my battery with always having the Bluetooth on. And the other benefit would be that I could use it on airplane without getting in trouble because I wouldn't need Bluetooth on at all to use my keyboard. If they're going to go that far, I'd also love to see them integrate a external battery to increase the life and usefulness of my iPhone with the keyboard case attached. And if they could implement it, I would love to see them push most of the weight of the battery down to the bottom here, so it's not quite as top heavy when I'm typing, so it's better balanced. And while they're at it, they might as well shoot those audio ports around to the front so I could hear it better when I'm watching YouTube videos, much like I can on the Lenmar battery pack, which has a really good implemented audio system. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, if you really miss a keyboard or coming from a BlackBerry, this might be something that gets you by in the interim. But for us, it's become unusable because of the fact it always turns itself on in the pocket, and the workarounds are just too annoying to have to deal with it. But yeah, I'm hoping that a version 2 in the future would fix some of these ailments and make it a better system for everybody involved. But thanks for watching, and you can check out other links down below at Not So Ancient Chinese Secrets.